Hi, Travis.
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
Nice to see you. Wow, that's so beautiful what you did. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking time to talk with me. I
I'm
really
so
appreciate it.
happy. I'm so happy to
I,
be asked.
I'm been a big fan for a long time. So this is really cool to get a chance to talk with you, and especially about Rosemead because I think like a lot of people, we see you mostly as an action star, and I know as a fan, it's good to see you in a role like this that I don't think you get enough opportunities to be in this kind of film. Talk to me about how you got involved with Rosemead.
They brought the script to me, and this was, in 2019.
Wow.
So it's been a minute. And this actually happened. It's based on a true story. It happened in 2015. So Frank
Hmm.
Chong wrote the article for the LA Times in 2017. So this is actually not that long ago. It's just over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it took a long time for us to get the financing because it's obviously a very deep movie. And I think that a lot of people are more probably hyper focused on, the commercial aspect of when you put money into a film and
Hmm.
the popcorn aspect. And I think this is a conversation starter and one of the most important projects that I've ever worked on. So the fact that it's out in movies, in theaters, in movie theaters, it just to me is one of the greatest achievements I think in my career to date, even though there's been a lot of other movies that have had a lot more success.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talked about, kind of the long time it took to get this movie off the ground and stuff like that. There just aren't that many movies that focus on the Chinese community, I think. Especially the Chinese community and mental illness. I don't know if I've seen any, honestly. You think that had something to do with it? And is that one of the things that drew you to it?
This movie is not out there in that sense. There's not that kind of, there's no file for it. So
Hmm.
this is really the first of its kind, and I think that it's an important one because it shows what it's like in a family, just living their lives and how when this family has been struck by grief or struggle or loss, that there was very little advocacy or the ability to really fully understand what the possibilities were.
Hmm.
And I think that that was what led her, including the fear factor involved towards the the unfortunate
Yeah.
aspect of her decision making.
Yeah. Well, she's also, kind of I don't know if there's maybe a communication barrier, but she's sort of failed by the system too, in a lot of ways.
1,000%. And I think you really nailed it because there's a real undercurrent of healthcare that's not discussed, but it exists, and
Hmm.
how there was not the ability to, I guess, really fully understand the diagnosis and have a translator there to explain to her what was happening, not just for her own health, but for her son's.
Hmm. Yeah. So talk to me about how you got into like ready for the role of playing Irene. You got to speak in Mandarin, which I don't. When was the last time you got a chance to do that in a movie?
I haven't done that in a movie, I think, maybe ever, but I've definitely done it in some episodics that I did a long time ago. I mean, I thought that I was fairly fluent in it, but then when I started to actually, look at the language and sort of break it down, I realized I'm sound at stuttery and just completely like a foreigner in my own language. And that's where I had to realize that practice is involved and how it took me a great deal of work. But that is really where the seed of this character came from, is the intense direction of where I was able to base her,
Mm.
and that language really brought me back to a very deep level of understanding for this character.
You talk about trying to get back into speaking the language. Kind of feel like that enhances the character a little bit because because Irene in a lot of the most of the film kind of seems like she's you know trying to hide herself away from the world in some ways, and she's kind of hesitant to really talk and express herself to people around her.
You have nailed every single moment in this movie. It's incredible. I mean, honestly, you really picked up the nuance. Yeah, there is a real feeling of uncomfortability
Hmm.
within, even when I spent time with my mother over the holidays, the fact that she could be in a social situation, but then really didn't want to be in a social situation after that. It's kind of like a reminder of what not to do and to hide away. And it's just more comfortable being on your own and isolated and playing Sudoku, you know what I mean, on your iPad. There's the feeling of like the community that you're from is not the community that you're in. And
Hmm.
so I think that Irene felt within her own community a sense of judgment as well as a sense of not belonging. And I think that loneliness that she felt kept her in her place of, I guess, ignorance, and her inability to reach out and connect because there was a fear of not just judgment, but of a lack of protection, which she felt was her job as a parent.
Hmm. Does a character like this sit with you long after the movie, like after you're done shooting? Like, is it hard to shake a little bit?
It is. And I think that I sat with it for so long afterwards and then didn't really dial in until, we started to do press and then started to realize how emotional I still felt.
Hmm.
And it started to dissect some of my own history. And I realized she hasn't really left me. And
Hmm.
if anything, I think she's opened a lot of doors for me that were either closed or that were never opened. And so
How much? I'm
this is
sorry.
I guess in that way, she has brought something to me that I would
Mhm.
not have expected.
Does this make you want to seek out and try to maybe get more movies of this type out there into the world? If anybody can maybe do it, it's you. You're famous, and the people really like movies with you. They like you. You think you could maybe help make that happen?
I mean, I think for me, the most crucial part of, being an artist is to continually be curious and
Hmm.
to take risks.
Yeah.
So I think that there's so many more stories to uncover, not just about this particular one, but there's stories about, marriage, divorce, children, parenting, there's life stories that we don't have as much of
Mhm.
in our lexicon, and I'd love to bring that more to the forefront.
Well, Lucy, this has been fantastic talking with you about Rosemead. I look forward to seeing you in more movies as well. And good luck with this one. I greatly appreciate your time.
I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for just your wonderful questions and for connecting so well to our work because it was a huge team effort. And I can say that we all appreciate you, Travis.
Well, thank you. I hope I get to speak with you again. Thank you.
We will for sure.
Thanks. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.